everybody. We're solving microeconomics, worksheet 5, problem 2. First question. Only question 1. First, let's read the given. Below is a table showing different combinations of two goods, X and Y, with their marginal utilities, the price of a unit of X, so price of X, and the price of a unit of Y, so price of Y. Price of X equals $2 and price of Y equals $4. So we have the units of X, so quantity of X, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Marginal utility of X. For unit 1, marginal utility is 20. For unit 4, marginal utility is 14. The empty columns are total utility of X and marginal utility per price, per dollar, for X. Also, we have quantity of Y, 1, 2, 3 till 6. We have an empty column of marginal utility. It's empty. We need to fill it up. Total utility of Y, we have them for quantity of Y of 1. Total utility is 48. For quantity equals 5. Total utility of Y equals 180. Also, the marginal utility per dollar for Y is empty. Okay, so we need to calculate total utilities and marginal utilities. The rules for marginal utility is TU2 minus TU1 over Q2 minus Q1. So, if we need to calculate the marginal utility for Y, we need to check two consecutive total utilities and the quantities. Note that every time the quantity increases by 1 unit. So Q2 minus Q1 is always equal to 1 unit. So in order to calculate marginal utility, all we need to do is calculate TU2 minus TU1. So if we need to calculate TU2, also the change in the quantity is always 1. That's why we can use this rule. TU for the second quantity equals TU for the quantity just before plus the marginal utility for this quantity. Alright, let's move to the table. As you see, the units start from 1. Of course, we have the 0, the quantity equals 0. For this quantity, no marginal utility can be calculated. No marginal utility per price can be calculated. And total utility equals 0 always. If you consume 0, your total utility for this consumption is 0. Okay, now let's move on to calculate total utility of X. As we said, total utility equals the utility just before, so 0, plus the new utility, the utility for this quantity. So it's 0 plus 20 equals 20. Again, total utility for quantity equals 2. It's the total utility just before plus the marginal utility. So 20 plus 18, 38. 38 plus 16, 54. 54 plus 14, 68. 68 plus 12, 80. 80 plus 11, 91. Now let's calculate the marginal utility of y. We'll be using this rule. Again, change in q, q2 minus q1 is always 1. So it's enough to calculate total utility 2 minus total utility 1. So it's 48 minus 0, which is 48. 88 minus 48, which is 40. 124 minus 88, which is 36. 32, 24, and 12. Finally, to complete this table, we need to calculate the marginal utility per price. So marginal utility for x, this is it, for quantity equals 1. This is the marginal utility for x. And this is the price for x. So it's 20 over 2, which is 10. 18 over 2, which is 9. 16 over 2, which is 8. 14 over 2, which is 7. 12 over 2, which is 6. 11 over 2, which is 5.5. As for the marginal utility per dollar for good y, its marginal utility, 48, over the price of y, which is 4. So, 48 over 4, which is 12. Next, 40 over 4, which is 10. 36 over 4 equals 9. 32 over 4 equals 8. 24 over 4 equals 6. 12 over 4 equals 3. That's it for question 1.